Recently, I had an encounter with one of my coworkers where I asked him, hey, what do you want to do today? And he said, doesn't matter to me. I'll do whatever you want. For some reason, it got me thinking about my own artistic journey. I instantly wrote it down and I thought to myself, is this how I'm approaching my art? Am I just saying whatever, I'll do whatever you want? Or am I actually making conscious choices when I'm sitting down to create? It inspired me to come up with a plan to make basically a roadmap to my decision making as an artist. As a creative, it's your job to make choices, right? You are the creative and they hire you as a creative problem solver. So how can we come up with a process that works every single time? I took the time to really think about it. I broke it down to 3 simple steps. And if you stay to the end of this video, you'll be able to figure out how this applies not only to the entire image, but to every choice you make through your creative process. Let's go. Taking control of your choices gives you control over your thinking. And when you have control over the way you think, you gain this boost of confidence because you feel you are the one in control and you have the power.
I have the power of God and anime on my side!
Wait,
When you sit down to create, your art is a form of self-expression. If you don't know what your opinions and your tastes are, and you just let other outside voices influence the direction of your art, you become a people pleaser, or you focus on proving yourself instead of trying to improve your art. I'm a victim of this because I'm constantly trying to find out more ways on how I can get more views and likes instead of focusing on the personal projects that I've been putting on the back burner so that I can grow my account. It turns into this slow burn of you losing your sense of self, you losing your sense of taste. Really, when I sat down to think about it, I was like, if I'm trying to grow my following, when they do start to follow me, what do I actually have to offer? It really turned into this reflection of where my art is going and what do I want to do. So I sat down and I told myself, I'm going to come up with a list of ways to create a process for decision making. So let's break it down. Step 1 is to identify the choices, right? What is the difference between a good and bad choice? A good choice feels like you're in control. You have this sense of flow, this sense of effortlessness, and it just feels right when you're doing it. The good choice is usually followed by a sense of happiness, a sense of confidence. Overall, good feelings surround good choices. But what about bad choices? With bad choices, it involves you feeling a sense of regret, a sense of insecurity. You kind of wish you never did it, and sometimes it will even drive you to the point of feeling like you should just give up altogether. Now, there are some caveats as well. It's not just good and bad. There's a gray area, which I call the risks, right? Usually you don't know what comes with the risks because you may get that bad feeling in your stomach like, oh, should I do this? Should I not? And sometimes risks are the key to creative breakthroughs. Like you may find a new style or a new technique by taking risks, or you may find a career by leaving your current job to find something else. There's all types of thinking that goes into your decision making. Really, I just want you to break it down to 2 things. Is this going to impact me positively or negatively? And does this bring me closer to my artistic goals? If you guys ever seen the Netflix show Black Mirror, there's an episode called Bandersnatch where you are the character and you have to make the choices for the character throughout the episode. And every choice that you make determines a different ending, right? And that's the same for your creative career. If you are making choices that hold you back from your personal projects or your personal goals, ultimately you will find yourself farther away from where you actually intended to be in the first place. But before you start drawing, I want you to take that into consideration. Choose your ending. Find out what is the outcome of these decisions, right? The good and the bad, or the gray area, the risks. Find out, does this help me in the long run? Is this relevant to my current project? Does it impact my art in a positive or negative way? Step 2 is to control yourself. As humans, we all have impulses. We all make decisions without thinking sometimes. When you do this, you fail to look at the overall situation and act based on how you feel at the moment. And sometimes those decisions may not be the smartest ones. So it's important that we practice self-control. With self-control comes discipline, and with discipline comes confidence, and with confidence comes clarity, okay? I want you to think about that. Self-control is discipline. When you have that discipline, you are able to say yes or no to the things you're doing. When you have confidence in the choices you make, it's because you've taken time to analyze the good and the bad in step one. And that right there is a big step in the right direction for clear decision making. But you're probably asking yourself, what is an impulsive decision as an artist? For instance, one of the biggest questions that every artist gets asked is, what pen do you use? Or what tablet do you use? Or what program do you use?
What kind of pen do you use?
Usually when people ask these questions, it's because they think these tools will magically help them improve their art. If I have this, I'll be able to draw like them. Really, that's not the case. But when the influence is there, sometimes you'll make an impulsive decision to buy something you really don't need because you think there is a magic behind that tool, or you feel like it will instantly make you better, when sometimes all you need is the things that are right in front of you. Usually when they find out what tools are being used, they end up buying it impulsively. They feel like they need it when really it's just another distraction from you trying to create your own art. You try to emulate the person that you're looking at, or maybe it's not the tools, but courses as well, right? Sometimes you'll see an ad for a course and you'll be like, oh, I need to learn that. I need to learn this. I need to learn that. And you impulsively buy all these courses that you probably don't even get through half the time, right? I'm guilty of this. I've done this plenty of times. I've bought so many courses that when I didn't take into account how much time it actually takes, I find them just sitting on a hard drive or sitting on a website, and I never took them. Really, it was just impulsive decisions that I made in the moment because I felt like it was actually going to help me when it really didn't. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you should be focusing on is actually doing the work. You don't need top of the line material to magically make great art. All you need is what's right in front of you. So before you buy that 24-inch Wacom tablet or that $200 course, look at the tools that you have at hand. How can I get this education differently, right? Or how can I use different tools? If the project that you're working on doesn't call for top of the line stuff or high budget or high quality materials, just work with what you have at the moment. But it's important not to get too caught up in overthinking and to take action, which brings us to our next step: to act, then react. I'm sure you've all heard the saying, every action has a reaction. That's Isaac Newton's third law of motion. Everybody wants their art to have motion. Everybody wants their art to have a flowing process, right? A process that comes natural and you can just flow into the paper and everything just works, right? So when we look at the first two steps that we've done, we've now created a roadmap where our good decisions and our bad decisions are weighed out. We're not doing anything impulsively. We're taking the time to stop and think before we draw. Now that we've done all of the thinking, it's time to take action and start drawing. When you start drawing, a lot of feelings are going to come into play. This is why I said in the beginning that it's not just applied through the bigger picture, but to every choice that you make along the way. But now we have the tools to approach our art or our artistic practice with the right mindset. Here is where we decide, okay, this is the outcome I want, and we can start creating. Now that we're creating and we've done the thinking, now's not the time to overthink. Now's the time to just do. And once you reach a certain checkpoint, react, right? Take time to look at the piece, observe it, and say, okay, was this actually a good decision? Did this affect it positively or negatively? Is there a better way of doing this? Is it better that I just start over? Sometimes these questions are very difficult decisions that we have to make, but it gives us that sense of control. We are in control of the end result. Practicing this will help you find your identity and your voice as an artist. Try not to fall into the trap of overthinking or analysis paralysis, as they say, right? Being frozen in the illusion of choice and all of the different decisions that you can make. Weigh out your options, identify your choices, have some self-control, take a deep breath, look at the bigger picture, and then act on it. Create that piece. Once you take action, take a second to react. Review the choices you've made. Was it a good choice? Was it a bad choice? Can I do things differently, or should I just keep going with where I'm at? Am I heading in the right direction? The point of this video is to just create a more confident approach to your decision making when you start to create. I want you guys to take these 3 steps and apply it to every step of your process along the way, and even to your real life situations. Because when you let other people make decisions for you, you lose the sense of yourself and who you are. And I don't want you to lose the voice that makes you unique. My name is Azo Arts. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.